The majority leadership reshuffle, the caucus kicks against proposed shakeup. Now, there are various stories and various angles to this. So let me just read you some of the headlines that we have. So the Republic Press says MPP MPs reject reshuffle. We have the Chronicle has another angle to this. It says majority shoot down reshuffle rumor. And let me see who else is talking about this. I think the Daily Guide also has something to say. Majority boils over leadership. So various different angles. The new publisher says majority. Now this is the big one for me. Majority storms Jubilee House tonight to discuss new leaders. Okay, so are there new leaders or there are no new leaders? Let me just begin with Nana Kwame Asafo-J. And maybe he can give us
good morning.
The scoop inside.
Good morning.
Yes.
And I would have to also say a very good morning to my senior brother. And then the good people of Bosomefrem. I am a bit confused myself. Going through all the headlines. Because I have not heard or seen or read about any reshuffle or change in the leadership of Parliament as it is supposed to duly be done. I mean, we're all in this country and we saw how the MPP selected its leadership and communicated same to the appropriate cortices. We saw how the NDC did theirs, communicated same to Parliament. I have not seen any communication to that effect. So I am a bit surprised and confused
with
and
all the stories going around.
With all the stories and the proposed leadership and all that. I believe and think that it was that reason that gave some section of the majority the need to speak on the matter yesterday, where we saw the Deputy Speaker, addressing and trying to set the record straight on these matters. So I think, I don't know whether it is an agenda, whether, we have to also look into it. And again, I am seeing a certain, angle by all the media houses. I don't know where their communication is coming from or where their intel is coming from. But to select, appoint or reshuffle leadership, it is clear. I am not a member of Parliament. But we have been going through some of their documents and trying to get our heads around it. And when you look at the old standing order, I am trying to, my senior would know much more. When you look at the interpretation, majority leader, it means a member of Parliament designated by the party or parties holding majority of the seats in the House as recognized by leaders in the House. The old one is clear, party or parties, giving authority or some power to the parties upon which individuals run elections or was sponsored into the House. Now the new one is also saying something a bit different. A new one is also saying that majority leader or minority leader means a member of Parliament designated by the majority caucus as their leader in the House. So the new one takes away the power of the party and gives it to the caucus. Now, I think there should be a certain symbiotic relationship between the party and the caucus. Because don't forget, in my constitution or in the constitution of the MPP, when you are the leader of Parliament, you are a member of National Council.
True.
So it cannot, I don't know whether it is supposed to be in that spirit that you do not need recourse to the leadership. You just have to be in caucus or in Parliament and take your leadership without recourse to the party. I don't know. That is why I am still looking at the spirit behind the new standing order. That is it that the new standing order is taking away the powers of the party or eschewing the party from the involvement of some of these things?
Could it not be maybe the fact that Parliament initially didn't even necessarily intend for the word party in use to refer to the political party. As in, for example, let me just like, as in, for example, when you say interested party, it's not necessarily it's a specific group of people that it's referring to, not necessarily the political party. Okay, because it doesn't state political party, it just says parties.
So here, I want to believe that the parties are clear.
Okay.
And I also want to believe that, I don't know, but I think that the reason might be necessitated by the removal of the NDC leadership some time ago.
Okay.
That they wake up one morning and then without any consultation to caucus, then there was a new leadership. I mean, by the party, imposed on them by the party. I mean, some majority of them refused it, some spoke against it and all that. So I believe that trying to protect the future leadership of Parliament and also to protect the future members who will be appointed leadership necessitated this clause. My thinking. Okay. I do not know for a fact.
Fair enough.
My thinking. So I think there should be much more broader consultation to draw a clear line. Because for me, the two must do it together. Okay. That's why I said there's a certain symbiotic relationship between the two of them. Okay. That need to, because I mean, when you get a leadership, the leadership must come to, I don't know what the NDC constitution say, but the constitution of the MPP makes the leader of parliament a member of the National Council, one of the, I think, the second highest decision-making body. So if you don't get the party involved, and you go and choose somebody, and the party don't want the person to be there, I mean, there's a whole. So I
yes,
think
I'll have you comment on this, but I want to come to you, Alhaji. There's a brief statement here, or let me say a paragraph in the story on in the new publisher. It says here, all members of Parliament on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party (NPP) have been marshalled for an emergency meeting with the President Nana Akufo-Addo at the banquet hall of the seat of government, Jubilee House, tonight. The new publisher can state on good authority. Now, your experience in Parliament will come to bear. What do you make of, is it the party's influence on Parliament? Where are we going with this? What do you know also in terms of majority shoot down, reshuffle is not going to happen? Some are saying it's going to happen. Adumaku Kisi said, he is all for a reshuffle, and so on. So where do we start?
Good morning, and good morning to my brother. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I guess he paid the highest.
This matter.
If you want to go back,
let's not go there. Let's not go there.
If you want to go back, Honorable and the appeal could be rendition that we needed to pay more to be able to be elected. But that's just the light side of it. He appeared to know the NDC more than we know the NDC. But it is important for me to state that these changes in the new standing orders have absolutely nothing to do with what happened in NDC with regards to the changes of our leadership. Absolutely not. In fact, Parliament has been working on these new standing orders for some time now, long before even the NDC even fun wanting to change even our leadership. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. It is also important to state that I've seen a lot of pretense from our friends in the MPP pretending to say that they had no clue whatsoever that there was a proposed changes in the leadership of the MPP. Mind you, the first deputy speaker would not hold a press conference to address an issue if his hand was not, tapping on something. I mean, why would he? There have been a lot of rumor. Now, if politicians are going to be responding to every rumor by holding press conferences, then it must be likened as a firefighting political behavior. Clearly, the first deputy speaker is a person with stature as far as the MPP in Parliament is concerned, and as far as the MPP as a political party is concerned. So he certainly could not have held a press conference to address a matter without some evidence that there was that proposal. Before the NDC changed our leadership, the rumor was there within the four corners of parliament. Even our friends in MPP knew or they picked information that there was the likelihood of changes in the leadership. So equally, when there is a rumor of changes in leadership within the MPP, we would know, even though we belong to different political parties, because if you understand how parliament operates. But let me address your issue, and it is important we address the issue in perspective. Look, we have tried all systems of government. If you like, the most dominant system of governance, the parliamentary system, which is called the Westminster system, and also the executive or the presidential system. We have tried all since independence. Now, the framers of the 1992 Constitution, having considered the defects of these two systems, decided to have an hybrid system. So the hybridity of our system of governance comes with some challenges. And that is why I have always proposed and supported the recommendation of the Constitutional Review Commission that for us to experience a true independence of the three arms of government, particularly the legislative arm, we need to insulate, Parliament entirely from the grip of the executive. Now, if you look at our constitutional and our government architecture, we blended both the parliamentary system and the presidential system. Now, the president is incumbent to appoint at least 50 or more than 50% of his ministers from parliament. So in one breath, when ministers who are members of parliament are at cabinet, they put on the executive gown. And when they move from the Flagstaff House to parliament, they remove the executive gown and then they put on the legislative gown. And that affects the independence of the legislature. To that extent, political parties must also not have grip of parliament. Look at our constitution, and that's why I said we need to link it with our constitutional arrangement. Every member of parliament, my brother, when you are going to file, your filing fee will be paid by the party, even though you can afford to pay. So the party pays your filing fee, and you are in parliament for and on behalf of the party. And that is why when a person defects from one party to another, you forfeit your seat. Your seat becomes vacant. That affects the true principle of democratic governance and the independence of the three arms. Look, John Locke and Professor Montesquieu never propounded those theories to have them being influenced. And the reason why this separation of powers and checks and balances was to ensure that at least there's some detente, that all the three arms have some level of independence for the purposes of their powers not being abused. But here is the case. You have a political party which is outside these three arms of government, so to speak. And to a very large extent, you can say that if a party is in power, the political party can be christened as even the executive. Because the political party does everything in tandem with what the executive proposes. Now, they determine who is a leader of a legislative arm, an arm of government which is supposed to be independent. So, frankly speaking, a lot of these challenges have to do with our constitutional architecture or arrangement. And that is why the proposal which was made by the Constitutional Review Commission must be supported. That for us to have true independence of the legislature, outside the influence and the grip of the executive, let's insulate that. Look, I have said, the reason why our politics is monetized, unfortunately, particularly parliamentary elections, there are many people, or there are some people, let me use it this way, who vie to be elected as MPs, not because they have a yearning desire to represent the constituents on which ticket or on which platform they want to become MPs, but they see the MPship as an easiest way of being members of the executive. I don't know whether
you got noticed.
Because
it's one of the reasons.
Yes, I mean they see it as one of the easiest way because they feel that if you are a member of parliament, your chances of being appointed a minister is higher than someone who is not a member of parliament. Because the constitutional arrangement says that the president must appoint more than 50% of his ministers from parliament. So that is why I have always said, even when I was a deputy minister, look, let's decouple that. Allow the president to decide whether he wants to appoint all his ministers from parliament or he wants to appoint all his ministers outside parliament. I don't want to call myself a political scientist. I think until I have my viva, I can't call. But I'm a political science student. And to be very honest, I have reviewed plethora of literature. And to be very honest, most people, scholars, even in Ghana, within the continent and in Europe, describe Parliament as just a rubber stamp. They describe it as just a rubber stamp because we simply cannot bite. And the reason why we cannot bite, not that individual MPs cannot, but the arrangement, the constitutional arrangement itself, denies them the opportunity to do what? To bite. So, frankly speaking, we need to look at it in that perspective. Okay. But on the matter of the changes and the press conference that was held, I listened to my good friend, Dr. Citi. I'm in the same committee with him. Okay. I didn't expect him to flip-flop. He said that he participated in the press conference which was held. And if you watch, he was standing behind. And later, he granted an interview and said that he didn't know why he participated. He didn't know the content of that press conference. And that, for me, a very sharp, very smart guy. I didn't expect that from him. The least he could do was to remain silent, even if he didn't know.
But he clearly stated that in that interview that he saw the press conference going on there. So he just went in and he joined them.
If I want to participate in the press conference, first and foremost, I must know what the press conference is all about. I'll tell you a story. There was a press conference that was going to be held by one of our colleagues on a different committee. And then other members were invited to participate in the press conference just outside the coffee shop, Parliament. And I was invited. Then I asked, what is it about? The press conference was about something that I have a very strong position against. I said, no. Okay. So I can't just come and stand behind the person who is making the statement. And later then I say that I'm for it. I think that we must all learn from that. Okay. Don't just get, even though it is your party, don't just get involved. So frankly speaking, there is that rumor. Okay. And in fact, I have spoken with some of the would-be leaders. And specifically, I spoke with Honorable Afenyo Markins. When I heard it, Afenyo is my very good friend. I said, oh, I'm told they're changing leadership. He said, I'm not aware of any changes in leadership. Okay. This was what he told me. Okay. I said, the information I picked is that. And he said, several people have called to ask him. Okay. But he is unaware of any changes in leadership. I spoke with my kid brother, Honorable Habib, the deputy, chief whip. And he said he's also not aware, but he heard it. So it means that there was that rumor. So clearly, the first deputy speaker certainly could not have held the press conference without having some information that there was the possibility of changing in leadership.
Or maybe he was just addressing the rumors that he had.
No, he didn't need to do that. And look, one of the journalists asked him a question. Now, why should it be you who is addressing the press conference?
He responded.
No, that response was whack. Look, if there is...
What don't you like about the response?
No. If there is any group of persons or individuals who should be addressing the press conference, it should be the leadership. In fact, in Parliament, if you want to hold a press conference or speak on any matter, you must have clearance from the leadership. So I thought that he could have allowed the leadership to hold a press conference. There is this rumor. That rumor is not true, except that some of the leadership were aware that there was that rumor. Look, I can tell you, and this one, let me say that what I heard, and I heard this information from one leading member of MPP in Parliament. That's why I want to put a caveat. He said, look, the majority leader was supposed to be sent to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in terms of the reshuffle. The current Minister for Foreign Affairs is unwilling to go because she is contesting for some international position. And she feels that if she leaves, she may not have the leverage to use the office for the purposes of the elections that she is contesting. That makes some sense. But I'm saying that if that is the reason, they could have changed her and allowed the new Minister for Foreign Affairs to do the bidding for you. It simply can be done. This is a rumor. This is not a rumor. This is what I was told by a leading member of MPP in Parliament. That doesn't make it an absolute truth. But I'm saying that once you have a rumor or any statement that is made which would occasion no less a member of Parliament than the first deputy speaker, one of the leading members and seniors in Parliament, addressing a press conference, I think that it goes beyond a rumor.
You see, I would want to also admit that there have been a lot of stories around, within, about this particular issue. To the point that I have seen a whole list of names. So I admit that there is a certain rumor about this matter. But on record, nothing of that sort has happened. I don't know if the point I'm trying to make. On record.
Okay. Is there going to be a meeting at Jubilee House tonight?
I cannot tell.
Okay.
I cannot tell. I'm not a member of parliament. Okay. And I don't know. Nobody has.
Yeah, a parliamentary candidate, the leading member of the NPP.
No, I've not been told. So I want to treat this as something that we are yet to get an official communication on it.
Okay.
I don't know what will come out if there is this supposed meeting to be held. I don't know what will come out. But National Executive Committee, National Council met just Monday.
Okay.
And there was no such discussion on this matter. So for me, I want to treat it as such.
Okay.
And wait until when there is an official position
by the party,
or by parliament, then we can come to discuss the individuals there and whether they are cut out for it.
I know if you ask him outside this program to give you detailed information, he may be clothed with a lot of information.
No, there is nothing like outside this program.
I say off air.
Like outside this program. So I want us to treat it as
fair enough.
But when it comes,
we'll deal with this.
I want to make this one, and for me that point is very, very important.
What's that?
The point he made earlier about the fact that the majority leader or a leader of the House is automatically a member of the...
That is our constitutional
position. Even in the NDC. And in fact, the majority leader even sits at cabinet in the government that is ruling. The MPP, I know that the majority leader and the minister of parliamentary affairs sits at cabinet. He's virtually treated like a cabinet minister. To be very honest with you, I think that it is very wrong. You remember when the changes took place in NDC about the leadership? I was vociferous against the changes. My position against the changes had nothing to do with the individuals who were changed. They are my very good friends. But what we're saying was to accept the independence of parliament. Now, you choose leaders. You don't choose leaders for people. Allow the people to have a role in choosing the leadership. Look, many people, if you read, they will tell you that one of the reasons or the yardstick or the standard for choosing leaders, you look at capability, you look at intelligence, you look at experience. If you ask me, what is most significant in choosing leaders is respectability. Respectability from the people he or she is going to lead. No matter the intelligence, the capability of whatever of a leader, if he doesn't command the respect of his people, it will come to naught. And that is why you find...
But what about acceptability?
No, but yes, acceptability must occasion the respectability. If you don't accept someone, I don't think that... You may disagree with someone on certain basis, but you respect him based on certain decisions he takes. Within the same center-right or property-grabbing political party you belong, you still have people. You still have people. You still have people who still think that we must grab a little. Others want to grab more. And within that, and
you have changed it from property owning to property
grabbing. It's not grabbing. And Social Democratic Party, and the Social Democratic Party, we believe in center left. Of course, they believe in center right, but you have extreme. Center right, extreme center left.
I think with every
on ideology you agree, but the principles you may not accept everything, but you respect the decisions taken by the leaders. And frankly, that was one of the reasons why some of us had problems with the changes. And equally within the MPP, maybe Chairman Bonsu has been there for a very long time. He commands some respect, and they may feel that he must be changed. Well, who cares? If you throw your frog over the wall, do you follow to find out how it lands? So it's the MPP and their business. And there's a popular saying that the monkey has no business in the playing ground of dogs.
I think at least we are taking a clue from what happened in
anyway, you know what we have to